Woo!
Here in this with us. And we're here to celebrate the Upsherin of Efraim. I personally don't think that the name Upsherin, which means cut off in Yiddish, gives the celebration as proper a proper description. I view the haircut here as a means to an end. The end being the introduction of Efraim into the formal education process of what it means to be a Jew. For the first 3 years, the Torah compares a person to a tree. And there's a number of different sources throughout the Torah and other books that says that a man is like a tree. And just like a tree is off limits for the first 3 years, so if you plant an apple tree, which you'll see apples in front of you, you can't touch those apples for the first 3 years. So those apples are off limits, and then at year number 4, they're then dedicated to God. And so too, just like man is like a tree is compared to a tree, the child in his first 3 years is sort of off limits, if you will, to us, and we let him go. We let his hair grow, we let him run unbridled with unrestrained energy. And then we got to this point where he's now 3, and now he's on limits, and we can dedicate him to Hashem and bring it back into order. So I'm going to talk a little bit more later, I think, in detail, if time permits, but just a quick concept. There's a number of different separations that a Jewish boy goes through in his life. I actually think it starts, the first separation starts when the boy's neshama is taken from the Apai in Shemayim and he's implanted into the body of the baby in the womb. That's separation number 1. Separation number 2 then is the actual birth process. The baby is actually ejected from the womb, and then the umbilical cord is cut. That's separation number 2. He's now part of the womb. Separation number 3 is the transformation from pre-circumcision to post-circumcision. So prior to the bris, he's alive, he's a human, he's in the world, but he's not yet entered into the covenant of the Jewish people that we've all signed on to, and that's our mandate. So that's separation number 3. And now separation number 4 is again at this critical juncture in his life where he's going to sort of put behind him the babyhood, and if you can, and segue into what it means to be a person who's now part of a nation and part of an education process. So that next separation is the transformation from baby with long hair to a child who's going to start focusing on what the laws are. And it's interesting that the word arla, which means the fruit, which is otherwise off limits for the first 3 years, it's called arla. And arla is mentioned a couple of times in the Torah. It's mentioned by fruit. It's mentioned by the circumcision process, the bris, the actual piece of skin that's taken off. It's called arla. And then it's also referenced again in sort of a spiritual sense, where Hashem says we should remove the arla that's blocking our hearts as we seek truth in our lives. And so the concept of arla really represents blockage. And each of these separations, whether it's through the bris, we take away this blockage, this spiritual blockage, so he can enter into the bris of the Klal Yisrael. And then now, as he's about to embark on the Upsherin again, we're doing away with the blockage of hair and sort of setting boundaries. And I'll explain later. There's a lot of Kabbalistic background mystical background behind the Upsherin. I'll just note quickly, today's Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day in the Omer. And the source of the minhag of Upsherin relates, it goes back to the first documented source goes back to the 16th century or so, where the students of a famous rabbi, Yitzchak Luria, commented that this famous rabbi took his son on the 33rd day of the Omer to a certain gravesite of a very famous rabbi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And he took him on this day, and he gave him his first haircut at the gravesite of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who was a student of Rabbi Akiva, and So today, Lag BaOmer is a holiday for us because it marks the end of a number of things. One, Rabbi Akiva had 24,000 students who unfortunately passed away during the period from the second night of Passover until today. And the plague that ravaged his students stopped on this day, and so we're thankful. It's a joyous holiday. But Rabbi Akiva, got up and dusted himself off, and he found 5 new students, and he started to reteach all the Torah to 5 brand new students. One was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who then later was seen doing this custom of bringing his child. So today's Lag BaOmer is a very special day. It's a holiday today also when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai introduced a lot of secrets into the world just before his passing. Today also marks his passing, his yahrzeit is today. So it's a joyous day, and we're here now to, and y'all didn't need an nod, so I'm going to wrap up. But I'll explain later. There's a very interesting mystical comparison between the creation of the world from chaos to order, from tohu to tikkun, which I'll explain later if time allows. But now it's time to mark the introduction of Efraim into the form of process. We're going to start cutting it here.